Hi everybody, how's it going? Jason here for another afternoon of music. Starting off with some improvisations in a mellow and relaxing mode. And changing gear later on around 3 o'clock when we'll have a sing song and we'll let off some steam. Hi Terry, how's it going? Hi Kate. Good to have you here. Who else do we have? Hi Sean and Dara, how's it going? Okay, everyone's starting to arrive now. And let's create highlight video. Interesting. Sorry, I just spotted a new option in my YouTube settings. That's me getting distracted. Let's start with just a warm up thing while people are arriving and that kind of thing, and while you're all saying hi. Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Stephen. Hi, everyone there at home with Steve. Hi, Dermot. How's it going? Hi, Sienna. Beautiful day today. Yeah, good suggestion. We may have done that before, but yeah, it's a great one to revisit. It's very appropriate. Um, and yeah, that's a good one. I like singing that one. And I don't even think I need to make note of it. That's yeah, that'll stay in my mind. Hi Grania. Hi Kira. How are you? Great. Nice group with us today. I have some stuff to show you. In terms of we have some more wildlife recordings. To create improvisations out of. One that I took myself out in my back garden last night. I got a nice conversation between two birds. I don't know what kind. And there's a dog in there as well. I don't know what kind, but they were making loads of noise, and that might be fun. I suggested whale song as a different kind of wildlife for us to listen to. I have some of that, and Sean has sent on loads of lovely again ambient garden wildlife sounds. We have some bees. We have I think there's some shore sounds as well there. So in fact we probably have, what it seems like is we have two types of wildlife sounds and probably too many loops to get through in one session. So my idea is we seem to have garden kind of woodland sounds, and we seem to have some more oceanic marine sounds with the whale song and the shoreline sounds. So I'm open to splitting this up any way you'd like. We can mix it all up and just do, birds and bees and whales, or we could theme it. We could have garden sounds today and ocean sounds tomorrow, or ocean sounds today and garden sounds tomorrow. Let me know what you think. Yeah, that's a good one. Hi Colette. Hi Michael Dowd. Great. Thanks for tuning in. So there we go. 3 little birds. Yeah, there was. I'm not sure the exact number of birds, but that's a good one for later as well. So what do you think? We stick to a theme, ocean versus garden, or will I just mix it up? Theme it, says Terry. Okay. Let's do ocean theme today, so just to break from the garden stuff. How about that? And of course, you're free to send me in your own recordings. It's amazing how quiet things are when there's fewer cars around and things like that. So it's amazing what you hear. So you might hear something that you think is particularly interesting in your garden or out your window or even in your house. Who knows? Fridge sounds. I don't know. Maybe your fridge has a cool sound. So just take out your phone or your iPad and use the voice memo app, whatever one you have, and just email it on to me. Hi Yvonne, how's it going? Okay, so Yvonne and Colette and Mike are all listening. Hi Anna, how are you? Okay, nice group today. Let's start with some whale song then. This is I'll tell you the story of the whale song. I went looking on archive.org. It's a really good site for kind of free recordings and things like that, and public domain stuff. So I found one whale song that literally sounded like cows mooing at each other. Didn't seem terribly useful for our purposes. But I did find this one. This is a bit more pleasant. Let's try it with some rhythm. Okay. It's interesting to try new things. Oh, I'm really curious how that might have sounded. Um, Jess is on. Jess says it sounds funny, by which I presume you mean funny, unusual. Um, you were hearing some whale song and ocean noises there, Jess. Along with my attempt at improvising over them. Okay, sounded okay to you, Terry. Great. Um, so what? Yeah, I love to know what you heard, Jess. Um, and see what we can do to make it less funny, unless it's giving you a laugh. That might be. Um, okay, yeah, very good. So okay, um, let's. Yeah, do you know what that was, Terry? That was because there was a lot of ambient kind of ocean noise as well, and I thought that would sound noisy, but it's good feedback. I'll try that again. Um, yeah, but thank you for that. Yeah. Maybe bring down the loops in general would be. In fact, I can even see. Good ear, Terry. I can even see that the track that loop was on was slightly higher than the track the other loops were on. So good catch. So I'll fix that, and should be able to carry on. Okay. So I'm feeling a bit mellow after that. Anyway, that's risky when I'm trying to keep track of all this stuff. Let's do something. You know what, Terry? I'm going to have to disagree with you there, because you're generally spot on with your feedback, and by generally I mean always. So I don't know. There might be you're picking up all the frequencies where my mistakes are. No, don't mind me. Don't mind me. This is the Friday loopiness catching up with me early. Okay, let's do something. with just guitar, and we'll come back to the loops in a second. Okay. Okay. Now, speaking of technical things, I did just realize something. Um, that the dryer is on out in our utility, and the dryer and all my sound gear are all in the same circuit. So that might be creating a bit of a buzz. I'm hearing a little. I think I'm hearing it on my headphones. So that might have been what you were talking about, Jess. Um, so I'm just gonna pause the dryer for a little bit, and then we'll get back to work. But this is, I suppose, this is how it works. Neil Finn probably had to do this at some point when he was doing his online things. Okay, I'm back. Now there are planes flying overhead. You can't win. Okay. Back in business. Right. How are you getting on, Mike? Mike O'Dowd? Okay. Thanks, Terry. I turned it off just to be sure. It's a bad idea to have that many things running on the one circuit anyway. Okay. Mike O'Dowd, how are you getting on? Is this your first time hearing these sessions? It's a bit loose today. Let us know what you think. Okay, let's see. I have another loop here. This is a... Is this beach side of this? Okay, I'm going to have to work on that. I'm going to have to clear that up a bit. Let's try this one. There we go. So we're back in the garden here. This is a nice one. This is from Sean's garden. So let's try that with some tabla. I like the way they line up. Okay. Yeah. Hypnotic sound of bees. Um. Okay. How are we getting on out there? Everyone having a good day? What's the weather like where you are? It's a bit overcast here, but not unpleasant. Um. Let me know how you're getting on. We have a few minutes left. Any ideas you have, or suggestions or feedback? I'd be happy to work them into the session, work them into the music. Again, feel free to send in any recordings you have. Yeah, you're right, Sean. It came out a little. I think there was a lot of. I don't want to call it noise, but it's a lot of air in the recording. That when you turn it up, then all you hear is the air. But it was worth a try. This is what this is all about. We're experimenting together. Yeah. It's just. Do you know what it was? I think it was wind. On the from the just from the shore, going into the microphone at the time. But I can try and clean it up, and if I can't clean it up, someone's just going to have to go to the beach to get more recordings. Although none of us are allowed to do that. Okay. But I might be able to find some that we can use. It was certainly would be very appropriate for the kind of vibe we're going for here. But let's see what happens. Let's keep at it. Okay. Let's mix it up a bit. Let's do one with a loop, but without recordings, field recordings. Do you know what the stream? Yeah. Again, it all depends on how close the microphone was to the actual sound. On a windy day, that's all you'll hear, you know. But I'll take a look. I might be able to clean up those recordings, or slow them down. That kind of thing can work. But I think the core idea here, I still like the idea that we're taking sounds from our surroundings and from our world and turning them into something creative. And that makes us listen to our world a bit differently, you know. Okay. Let's try something slightly jazzy here, and I'll bring back the birds for the next. Yeah. Hi everybody. Um, I just saw your message there, Anna. Um, it can be any length really, but over 30 seconds would be good. Because then it's less obvious when it loops. So it could be one long recording, like minutes if you want, and I play along to the whole thing, or it can be a shorter recording that then loops and I play over that. Um, but the loop can't be too short, or else it'll be obvious and it'll become repetitive, you know. Um, but if you can record it as a sound file, that might be handier, just because they're smaller and they're easier to email, that kind of thing. Um, do you have something in mind? Do you have a? It can be anything, you know. But there we go. Um, so nearly time for us to wrap up. I usually aim to finish around 1:45, and then I end up finishing around 10 to. So we can do some turnaround for the song session. I hope you'll all come back for that. So I might as well break out my recording. And see what you think of that. This was a little conversation between some birds and some dogs. They may have been separate conversations in my garden last night. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I hope you liked it. And it's nice to spend time together. We count down the days until things go back to something resembling normal again. So here we go. Glad you're liking it, Kate. No, 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 no. Okay, I really have to work on a way of fading out rather than just that abrupt stop thing. But anyway, that's enough of me complaining. Um, okay, so thanks again, everybody. Hope you liked it. It's nice to try out different things. We've been at this for nearly 5 weeks. Okay, great, Terry. I'm glad you like that. Um, yeah, we're dialing it in all the time. It's nice that things have evolved over the last month and a bit, and I hope they continue to evolve. And that certainly makes it fun for me. Um, so let's wrap up there. I'll switch over for the song session, and we may have a theme of animals today. So, as suggested by Sean and Mary and Dara. Um, so, see what kind of animal songs you can come up with, but or whatever songs, whatever songs you feel like requesting. Um, so I feel like I'm always. I take ages to wrap up because I just want to make sure you guys know how grateful I am that you've tuned in, and I'll see you all at 3 o'clock. Bare necessities, absolutely great, good call, Terry. Okay, so I'll see you all in a few minutes, and we'll change gears a bit. Okay, thanks, guys.